Okay, we continue with the Operation Encore reading. In this one, I'm going to show you two files. They're going to be entitled Khalid, Assessing Airline Security While in Hong Kong and Seen in Los Angeles in the year 2000. And so this is really important because it shows that Khalid had indeed um, been to the United States. And a lot of people don't know about that, but that's an important part. So I'm going to make myself disappear so you can read it. And it says here, during FBI interviews, Taufik bin Attash, Khalid, stated he used an alias name for all his travel to Hong Kong in 1999. He advised that during his trip to Hong Kong, while he was collecting information on U.S. air carriers, he was trying to determine the number of passengers on the flights that were in the first, business, and economy classes of travel. Bin Attash stated he took this trip specifically to collect information in furtherance of the Southeast Asia portion of the planes operation. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. This is something I tend to forget sometimes about 9/11. There was supposed to be a much bigger operation and how it came from the Pachinko plot, which later became the 9/11 attack. And it ends right there. But as you can see on this file here, I want you to read this. CHS, confidential human source. That's what CHS is for the FBI. Confidential human source positively identified the individual in the second photo as someone who'd been to Los Angeles and the King Fahd Mosque. Note, the photograph is Khallad bin Attash. CHS stated that this individual in the photograph had a limp or a bad leg. Note, bin Attash has a prosthetic leg. And so a lot of people, Khalid is a principal player in this because it shows that he is the alleged mastermind of the Cole bombing and also involved the planes operation, but he's a conduit between two of the original hijackers that caught inside the United States and Khalid al-Mihdhar and Nawaf al-Hazmi. And the CIA knew this. So for example, had the CIA informed the FBI about the arrival of Khalid al-Mihdhar and Nawaf al-Hazmi and that they were meeting with the mastermind of the Cole bombing, the alleged mastermind. Since the Cole bombing is a Department of Justice matter, that means the operation now transfers over to al-Mihdhar and al-Hazmi, but the CIA were running their own separate operation without knowledge of the FBI, and that involved the monitoring of Khalid al-Mihdhar and Nawaf al-Hazmi with Saudi intelligence inside the United States, an illegal operation. And so the CIA withheld information from the FBI regarding these two, and of course, 9/11 attacks were successful. Now, I'm not going to say that the CIA knew about this, about the planes operation. I happen to think that they didn't. Do I know that for sure? No. Now, to talk about the planes operation and the Southeast Asian port of it, bin Attash was to be involved in the planes operation headed by Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. But Khalid Sheikh Mohammed wanted two parts to the planes operation. The first part involved the planned attacks inside the United States that we know of. But the second part, which is something I never really mentioned much, but the second part involved the hijacking of U.S. planes over Southeast Asia and blowing them up. Now, this idea came from the Pachinko plot, which is where the 9/11 planes operation originated from. That's why, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed is the alleged mastermind, not bin Laden. The United States blamed bin Laden for 9/11, but they didn't know anything about Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. Nobody did, really. The CIA did, the NSA did, the FBI barely did. And bin Attash would confirm this part of the plot and state his intention was to hijack several airliners from Southeast countries. Again, take this with a grain of salt because Taufik bin Attash has been tortured. I'm not saying he lied. I'm not saying he told the truth. And I think this is the reason why the CIA did this, is to keep the public not knowing anything. And in December of 1999, Khalid was trained by Khalid Sheikh Mohammed in Pakistan which involved like basic, learning basic English, interpreting, reading airline manuals, flight schedules, things of this nature. And near the December of '99, the latter half, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed had directed Khalid to conduct a casing mission for the plane's operation out of Southeast Asia. And this is why he was seen in Thailand with Khalid bin al-Hazmi. And he gets off a plane in Thailand. Meanwhile, al-Hazmi and al-Mihdhar from the Malaysia meeting, they went to Thailand, and then Khalid stood in Thailand while al-Mihdhar and al-Hazmi went to the United States. And bin Attash then travels back to Kuala Lumpur. But bin Laden allegedly ends that second half of the plane's operation, saying there would be too many, we coordinate too many people, which leads me to believe, who the hell were the Arabs that were getting arrested on September 14th? If they weren't Al Qaeda, makes you wonder, who were those people on Flight 23? If they weren't Al Qaeda, it's weird to believe this story. I happen to believe a majority of it, not all of it. But I just wanted to, share that information with you about that part of 9/11 because it's hardly ever mentioned. So, okay, there you have it, guys. And tomorrow I'll be doing a video on threat nature, the current threat matrix of Al Qaeda and against the United States, and my concerns over this winter. Okay, guys, thank you very much for watching the video, and take